Hey, good evening, everybody. Petman Matt Morrow, Carolina Varsity, coming at you, taking a look at the 4A state title game here, and it's been a heck of a season for both of these teams. We've got Scotland County taking on Harding, and Harding will be the home team in this one, as the state has authorized all the Western teams to be the home teams in the state title games. All right, so most of our Charlotte crowd probably has not followed Scotland County much this year, so we're going to start out kind of giving you an overview of Scotland County, and then we'll jump into the game breakdown. All right, so for Scotland, saw them week one when they took on Mallow Creek at Scotland. Um, and, the interesting thing about them is they are totally different now than what I saw back then based on some film study that we did the past couple days. So the quarterback is Bell, number 10. These passing numbers, you may laugh a little bit, but and believe me when I say this, they have an ability to throw the football, but when you go through the numbers, you wouldn't think so. So only 91 passing attempts all season long. He's completed 52 of those for 945 yards. And look at this ratio, 15 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. So that tells you right there, when they're throwing the ball, they're throwing it, for the touchdown. They're not, just chucking it for, short gains and all that. Usually off some play action or just straight drop back one-on-one coverage on the outside. In the game against Mallet Creek earlier this year, they threw the ball a lot. I mean, out of those 91 attempts, I would bet 15 came in that first game. And, they've definitely shifted over the past few weeks to really almost strictly run. And when you see these running numbers, you're going to see why. So you get to the rushing numbers. And, of course, unfortunately, Zamir White's out for the season. He hurt his knee a couple weeks back in the playoffs. And with best wishes to him as he goes on to what's going to be an awesome career in Georgia, and probably the NFL. Past that, seeing him week one was amazing. If you didn't get to see him, I hate that you didn't, but there's plenty of highlights out there. He had 2,086 yards on the season with 34 touchdowns. Unbelievable. But now they've shifted their offense, and the focus now is the quarterback, Bell, and his numbers are really good. He's rushed for 1,983 yards and 25 touchdowns from the quarterback position. And that's an average of 10 yards a carry, which is unbelievable. He runs like a running back. And you pretty much have to treat him like that. He can throw the ball, of course, like we just talked about, but he's a running back. They've also got number 5, McLean, who's a very good running back in his own right. He's got 773 yards on the year and 9 touchdowns. And now he's the main running back since Zamir's out. But between Bell and McQueen, these guys can really, really run the football. For the year, they've rushed it 542 times for 5,532 yards. That's an average of 10.2 yards per carry. So you see the ratio here, 5-1 at least, run the pass on the season. When they do throw the football, number 6, Wall, who's only a sophomore, is the guy that you got to watch out for. He's got 4 touchdowns on 14 catches for the year. And then Smith on the other side is 12 catches for 240 and 6 touchdowns. And those guys aren't slouches. They just run the ball really well. So when you look at that and you flip over to the defense for Harding, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention these Scotland offensive linemen. These linemen are good. You don't run the football for all those yards unless you've got a good offensive line. And, you look at some of these numbers on these guys. You got 6'5", 295, 6'3", 330, 6'2", 325, 6'4", 295, 6'3", 255, 6'7", 305, 6'3", 315. Good gracious, these are some big boys, man. And, it's going to be a really good matchup because, when we talked about Harding all year long, we talk about the offense with Crouch, but the defense they have a very big defensive line. And, I'd expect to see, they've got a couple 300-pound guys, and they have 2 guys listed at 400 pounds. And when you see them, they're legit, all right? So you're going to have I think you're going to have a lot of weight at the line of scrimmage in this game. And I'll tell you, it's gonna be fun if you like old school football. This is gonna be some 1980 style, just get down in the mud and crab it out type stuff. um, but the other point I made on the forum the other day is when you got big linemen, of course you want to have size, but you want to have speed also. Especially with the kind of stuff Scotland runs. They can run all kind of stuff up the middle and off tackle. But if you've got speed to combat the line trying to get next level and cut off blocks and such, you can beat them to the point, and then you can stop someone from, before they get started. So for the Harding defense, I think that's going to be their key. They have really good athletic guys at linebacker that can come downhill and make plays, and they're going to have to be able to do that. And the linemen are going to have to keep those offensive linemen from getting next level and getting the cutoff blocks. If that's able to happen, Harding has a chance to slow down the Scotland offense. You're not going to stop them with all the talent and ability they have on that side of the football. All right, you look at the Scotland defense, and you're looking at numbers here. Number 9, Williams, has 109 tackles on the year and 12 tackles for loss. Number 2, Ratliff, has 13 tackles for loss on the year, 61 total tackles. And then you kind of scroll through a little bit. Those are the two main guys. Well, Smith, has 24 tackles for loss, 56 tackles on the year, and Kaba, 17 tackles for loss, 48 tackles on the year. And then second, the quarterback, Smith, is a monster. He's got 15 sacks on the year, and then Kaba has 10. But you're not going to have to worry too much about sacking the quarterback here, to be honest with you. When you flip it over and you look at the Harding offense, the run-to-pass ratio was really big with Scotland, and maybe even bigger for Harding. There have been games where they've only attempted 4 or 5 passes, and that's the norm. Obviously, the passing game was big last week as a big pass play to Reggie Burris gave the margin needed to win the game over Vance at home. All right, so you look at Brahim Murphy, number 1. He's been really good from the quarterback position, handling all the different types of handoffs and action that Harding has in the backfield. And I've said it all year, they've got one of the more diverse run games they've seen all year long. The thing is, Scotland has seen it because they run a lot of the similar type stuff. And, of course, the difference is Quavaris Crouch. The question I have for Scotland fans is, have they seen someone of this caliber all year long? And, the thing that the Scotland people have told me is their defense is not the strength. Of course, it's the offense with all the numbers that we've gone through. So you've got two teams here playing where the strength lies on the offensive side of football is the public perception. But I'll tell you, with Crouch, of course, he's over 3,000 yards on the year. He's got all the touchdowns, all the accolades. But I'll tell you, what I've seen is when teams start keying in on him, they have the two wingbacks, and Decarius Thompson and Reggie Burris have made big plays all year long in big games. And, it was the same thing last week. Murphy had 2 touchdowns on misdirection, and then Burris had the little kind of play action deep bomb for the touchdown, and Crouch didn't score. He had 262 yards, but his presence opened up all the other things in the Harding offense. So, that's what you're kind of dealing with here. And the Harding offensive line led by Javon Gwynn, who's an absolute monster. They line him up in different places, too. That's something you need to watch if you're a real student of the game Saturday. Harding defensively, like we talked about the big D linemen, they do put Gwynn in sometimes in critical situations if they need a big play. But he doesn't play that much defense. Same thing with Crouch. They'll put him at DN or they'll put him at linebacker wherever they feel like he can make the most impact. But he doesn't get in too often. They're not going to burn those guys out too much on defense because, number one, they need them on offense. And number two, they've got good players that you don't know about already on defense. And a big one is Boss Parson, number 11. really underrated, but he's a great, really, really good linebacker. Watch out for him on Saturday. And then they've got the two outside guys in Faust and Delgado, number 3 and number 7 respectively, that are really, really athletic and fly to the football. And then the DBs, you won't really get to see them too much in action because of the way Scotland runs the ball, but they're some of the best in the state. Dunlap and Corbett on the corners, and then Harris and Nelson on the safeties. Nelson, number 20, was the one that made the play to end the game last week. So, they're not afraid of the spotlight. They step up and they hit. They play zero coverage with no abandon. So you're going to see Harding in 8 and 9 man boxes all game long because they're not afraid to play man coverage. From what I remember on the special teams for Scotland, the kicker was pretty good. And the punter was also. Harding, they have the same kicker and punter as Alejandro Guevara. He's good from 40 and in kicking. And then punting, if he has time, he can get off a good punt, but then sometimes it doesn't always work out the best way, but he's done a good job for them all year long. We will be covering this game, of course, of Wake Forest University, 4 p.m. on Saturday. I expect a huge contingent from Scotland. I wouldn't expect anything less. They've supported their program for years. Harding, from what I'm hearing, there's going to be a really, really big contingent from Harding, given that this is the 30-year anniversary of their last state championship title appearance in '87. So you got a lot of alumni that are planning to make the trip. So hopefully we'll have a really good atmosphere. Everybody be safe, enjoy the game. Everybody stay healthy on the field. If you see us, say hello, Carolina Varsity. Thanks for watching. We definitely appreciate it.